You got a raise, not a massive one. Not "I'm buying a Porsche" money, just enough to feel like you're finally moving forward. Maybe it's $8,000, maybe $12,000. After taxes, it's something like $500 to $700 more per month in your checking account. For the first time in a while, you breathe a little easier. So you start browsing apartments. Not penthouses, not Manhattan skyline views, just something newer. You tour a place built in 2019. The lobby smells clean. The floors are that gray wood finish every new complex uses. The kitchen has quartz counters, stainless steel appliances. There's a small gym downstairs, a pool with string lights, a dog park, package lockers. It feels like progress. The base rent is $2,650. Then the breakdown comes. Amenity fee, $125. Valet trash, $60. Parking, $150. Technology package, $25. Utilities, $200. Your real monthly cost is closer to $3,200. You pause. That feels high. But then you check the market, and everything decent is within a few $100s of that. You tell yourself, this is just what apartments cost now. And that's the part we need to talk about. Over the last 15 years, the rental market quietly changed. Large institutional investors, private equity firms, real estate investment trusts, pension-backed funds began buying apartment complexes at scale. They don't think like a local landlord who owns 12 units. They think in terms of yield, return per square foot, revenue per door, occupancy optimization. When a corporation buys a 300-unit complex, their job isn't to provide housing. It's to maximize shareholder return. And that changes everything. Developers follow incentives. If building a modest, affordable apartment yields a 5% return, but branding something luxury, adding stainless steel appliances, a pool, and a co-working room yields 8%. Guess what gets built? Not what people need. What maximizes margin? That's why nearly every new complex is marketed as luxury, even when it's just a standard apartment with upgraded finishes. Luxury isn't about marble floors. It's about pricing power. Now let's talk about the part nobody mentions: fee creep. Rent used to be rent. Now rent is modular. Base rent gets you in the door. Then come the add-ons: amenity fee, trash fee, parking fee, technology package, administrative fee, convenience fee for paying online. It's not just rent inflation. It's unbundled monetization. You're not just a tenant. You're a recurring revenue stream. Every line item is optimized. If they can charge $60 per month for valet trash across 300 units, that's $18,000 per month in additional revenue. Over $200,000 per year. From trash. Individually, it doesn't feel outrageous. Collectively, it's extraction. Here's where it gets more subtle. You didn't even upgrade. Maybe you stayed in your current place. Renewal time comes. Your rent goes up $350 per month. That's $4,200 per year. You just got a raise. After taxes, maybe $7,000. Two-thirds of your raise just got redirected to your landlord. You didn't move. You didn't add amenities. An algorithm adjusted. Many large property managers now use pricing software that analyzes market data in real time. It tracks occupancy, competitor pricing, demand patterns. It's designed to avoid underpricing units. From a business perspective, it's efficient. From a renter's perspective, it means your housing cost is constantly recalibrated toward your maximum willingness to pay. Not your comfort, not your stability, your ceiling. And here's the part that feels personal, even though it's structural. You feel stuck. Older complexes are barely cheaper. New construction is all luxury. Buying a house feels impossible in your market. Moving farther out adds commute costs. So you're not choosing between $1,800 and $3,200. You're often choosing between $2,400 and $3,200. That $800 difference doesn't feel like insanity. It feels like the price of adulthood, the price of not living somewhere that feels like college, the price of keeping up. And that's what makes it powerful. It's incremental. The squeeze is quiet. Let's zoom out. If your rent is $3,200 per month, that's $38,400 per year. If you make $95,000 per year, that's roughly 40% of your gross income going to housing. Before utilities, before groceries, before car payments, before retirement. When housing consumes that much of your income, something shifts. You become less flexible. You can't take a lower-paying opportunity that might have long-term upside. You hesitate before negotiating aggressively at work. You delay starting a business. You build a lifestyle that requires stability at all costs. High rent doesn't make you irresponsible. It makes you fragile. One job loss, one medical bill, one unexpected expense, and the margin disappears. And here's the quiet long-term cost. Let's say you could find a perfectly fine place for $2,400 instead of $3,200. That's an $800 monthly difference. $9,600 per year. Invested at 7 to 8% over 5 years, that's roughly $55,000 to $60,000. In 10 years, it's well over $130,000. That's a down payment. That's a serious emergency fund. That's leverage in your life. But the market rarely frames it that way. It frames it as upgrade your lifestyle, resort-style living, modern finishes. It doesn't frame it as, would you like to trade 6 figures of future optionality for slightly newer cabinets? None of this means you're foolish. It means you're operating inside a system engineered for revenue maximization. Housing used to be primarily a utility. Now in many markets, it's a financial asset class first and shelter second. Institutional owners are rewarded for pushing rents to market-clearing highs. Developers are rewarded for building premium inventory. Investors are rewarded for yield growth. No one in that chain is rewarded for your financial margin. That's not a moral statement. It's an incentive statement. So what can you actually control? You can't rewrite zoning laws overnight. You can't undo institutional ownership trends. But you can understand the game. You can. Be cautious about stretching to the top of your approval range. Avoid paying for amenities you realistically won't use. Compare total cost, not base rent. Negotiate renewals when possible. Be willing to live one tier below what you technically qualify for. Treat rent increases as financial events, not background noise. And most importantly, don't internalize the squeeze as a personal failure. If you feel like every raise disappears, it's not because you're reckless. It's because fixed costs, especially housing, are designed to expand toward your income. That's how yield optimization works. Luxury apartments aren't evil. They're rational products in a profit-maximizing system. But understanding that system changes how you engage with it. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you start asking, "What is this costing me long-term?" Instead of assuming, "This is just what things cost now," you start seeing, "Where is the margin going?" And that awareness alone can shift thousands of dollars per year back into your control. You're not weak for feeling squeezed. You're navigating a market built to test your limits. The goal isn't shame. The goal is clarity. Because once you see the structure, you stop blaming yourself for struggling inside it. And you start making decisions with intention instead of momentum. And in a market optimized to extract every dollar it can, intention is leverage.